This video will show you how to create a new dataset by mashing up existing datasets. We'll look at the basics of mashing up data using joins and concatenations. Select the top Data tab to load the Datasets page. Notice that we already have a dataset called Order Data and another dataset called State Names. These datasets were imported from an Excel file and a text file, respectively. For information about creating datasets from Excel files or text files, see the other videos in this series. In this video, we'll show you how to mash up these two datasets using an inner join. To mash up these datasets, first select New Dataset from the top menu. Then select the Mashup Data option. This opens a blank Data Worksheet. The first thing that we'll do is add the two existing datasets into the Data Worksheet. Expand the Datasets node on the left side and drag in the two existing datasets, Order Data and State Names. To view the actual data in these datasets, press the Change View button in the Dataset title bar and select Live Preview. Then resize the tables as desired. Note that the datasets here have been given generic names, Query 11 and Query 12. To change the name of the dataset, right-click on the dataset, select Properties, and then set a more meaningful name. Note that the Order Data dataset does not contain the actual state name, but only contains the state abbreviation. What we would like to do is to create a new dataset that contains both the state name and the state abbreviation. To do this, we can perform an inner join between the Order Data dataset and the state abbreviations dataset. The join columns will be respectively the state column from the Order Data dataset and the abbreviation column from the state abbreviations dataset. There are two approaches to creating an inner join between datasets. The first approach uses the Join Table button in the toolbar. To use this approach, select the two datasets. You can do this by simply dragging across both datasets to select them. And then from the Join Table button in the toolbar, select Inner Join. Specify any of the join conditions that are required to relate the two datasets. In this case, we want to relate the two datasets on the state abbreviation columns. From the Order Data dataset, the appropriate column is the state field, and from the state abbreviations dataset, the appropriate column is the abbreviation column. This join condition ensures that in the resulting join table, the records from the two datasets are correctly related using the state abbreviations in these two columns. Press OK to create a new dataset that contains the joined data. This dataset appears in Composition View, which shows the join between the state column of the Order Data dataset and the abbreviation column of the state abbreviations dataset. To view the data in the join table, press the Change View button in the table title bar and select Live Preview. Each record now has both the state abbreviation and the corresponding state name. The second approach to creating an inner join between two tables uses a simple click and drag operation on the join columns. To illustrate this, let's delete the join table that we just created and recreate the join table using the second approach. To do this, simply click on the state field in the Order Data dataset and drag the state column from the Order Data dataset onto the abbreviation column in the State Names dataset. The green outline and icon indicate that a join operation will be performed. The join table displayed below is the same as the join table that we created using the first approach. Again, to see the actual data, press the Change View button and select Live Preview. Note that because the inner join preserves all of the columns from the two joined data sets, there is a duplicate column in this new data set. To hide the duplicate column, move the mouse over the column header and press the visibility icon, which appears as an eyeball. This hides the duplicate column. To restore a hidden column, press the Change View button in the dataset title bar and switch the dataset to the default view. This will display all of the columns, and you can then unhide a column by pressing again on the visibility icon. To change the name of a column, simply double-click on the column header and type the desired label. Change the name of the new dataset as desired by right-clicking on the dataset, selecting Properties, and entering the desired label. Finally, mark the new dataset as the primary assembly in the data worksheet. To do this, right-click on the dataset and select Set as Primary. This designates the dataset as the primary assembly in the data worksheet, which means that when you create a dashboard based on this data worksheet, the primary dataset will be listed above any other datasets that appear in that worksheet. To save the new dataset, press the Save button in the toolbar and provide a name for the new dataset. Press OK to save the new dataset. To return to the Datasets page, select the Data tab at the top. You will now see the new dataset listed on the Datasets page. To open the new dataset for editing, simply click on the dataset, which will return you to the data worksheet where you can make any further edits as needed. Another common way to mash up datasets is to use concatenation. A concatenation is a set operation such as union or intersection that combines two datasets that have matching columns. As an example, consider the sample datasets sales this year and sales last year. These datasets can be found in the Examples folder, under Orders Examples. In this case, what we'd like to do is to create the union of these two datasets, a single dataset that includes the sales from last year and the sales from this year. To do this, select the New Dataset option from the top menu. As we did before, press the Mashup Data button to create a new dataset as the mashup of the two existing datasets. Drag the datasets that you want to concatenate into the data worksheet. In order to perform a concatenation, such as a union operation, the two datasets must have the same number of columns, and the corresponding columns must have the same data type. To perform the concatenation, first select the two datasets, and then from the Concatenate Table button in the toolbar, select the desired table concatenation. In this case, because we want to create the union of the two datasets, containing data from both this year and last year, we'll select the union operator. This creates a new dataset, shown here at the bottom, that contains the union of the data in the sales this year dataset and the sales last year dataset. The new dataset is shown in Composition View, which indicates how the dataset has been composed by using a union operation. To view the data in the new dataset, press the Change View button in the dataset title bar and select Live Preview. This new dataset now contains data from both this year and last year. Rename the table as desired, mark the new dataset as primary, and then save the dataset. To return to the main datasets page, press the Data tab at the top. The new dataset is now shown together with the other datasets. In this video, we looked at the basics of mashing up datasets using joins and concatenations. For further information about different join types and different concatenation types, please see the other videos in this series.